I'm just so happy that Shane realized that he's damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't, because that is literally what he needed to just keep this series going and just do whatever he does best. Hey, what's up, my dudes? Yes, welcome to another video. So for this week's video, we're gonna do something a little different because, as you probably know, Shane Dawson has released a new series called The Mind of Jake Paul, in which he dives into the world of Jake Paul and just investigates Jake's life. You get the picture. I'll leave the link to the series in the description below. Look, listen, I'm a huge fan of Shane's. That's probably why I'm doing this video, is because I love Shane. Shane's been getting so much hate already.
I want you guys to know I'm aware that this might be a bad idea.
So this is just me flushing out my thoughts, because I have one friend that I can talk about this to, and she's probably really tired of me talking to her about this. So I just want to go part by part 1 through 4, and just give you guys my opinions, so my reaction and my review of it. I'm going to put the time of that part a la Philip DeFranco in the comments below, so you can just click on there and whatever. But like I said, I just wanted to talk to you guys about it and see what your opinions are, because I'm sure that we have different opinions. So I'm really interested in just having that dialogue, and let's just talk about this show, man. What a roller coaster, as he says 25 times in the first episode. Part 1 is basically Shane just explaining to us why he decided to do this series, and he does something really cool, which is basically admitting that he has no idea who Jake Paul is and going to talk to Isla, who has a lot of idea of who Jake Paul is. Honestly, I don't blame Shane. I'm just a few years younger than Shane, so we're not in Jake Paul's targeted demographic anyway. So I thought it was just a nice way to ease into the series and to have Shane a little bit unbiased, even if for just one episode. One important thing that I think Shane did was to ask Isla what would be a good interview question to ask him, and then this point, you know, is everything fake? Right off the bat, right from episode 1, we are already presented with the idea that Jake might be doing all of this just to get views and to keep his place at the top. And keep in mind too, when Shane presents the idea of sociopath, which is what got him in trouble, coming up, Isla says,
Why the question of is he a sociopath? I'm really not sure.
Shane keeps bringing it back to the sociopath idea. I'm so scared to feel bad for him. I'm so scared of showing him, like, you can't win. I wish he would just let that go. If you end up finding out that the Jake Paul persona is fake and then there's a nice person behind that, you can't deny that. But also, if you find out that Jake Paul you see on YouTube is real, you also can't deny that. So there's no, forget about, I don't want to feel. It's only part 1. We don't feel anything. We feel curious. So I wish that idea would have been let go, but it's not. Spoiler alert. We continue to part 2. Shane and Andrew go visit Katie Morton. He goes to Katie to get a professional opinion on sociopaths, because he thinks that maybe or maybe not Jake Paul might be exhibiting those signs. I don't know. I probably didn't even know what that entailed until the series, and that's how I think he got in trouble. This was the episode that Shane obviously got in trouble with fans, just because for someone like me, right, like, I didn't know anything and I am familiar with Shane's style, so I wasn't too surprised that he was making it seem like that. I mean, I watched all his conspiracy theory videos, so it's not a shock to me that he's doing this dramatization, this like horror genre. But I think it was really interesting for me as like a viewer, wake-up call, to realize that certain things, and even if it's just small or we don't notice, are raising that stigma on mental health. And I think it's important, and I props to Shane for recognizing that and wanting to work on it. Props to him for wanting to fix that in the upcoming episodes. However, in my opinion, people had a problem in how he talked about mental health. I'm not gonna deny that. I'm gonna say this though. When we get to part three, I feel like he just threw everything out of the window for the sake of the people that were complaining when he didn't even have to. So after watching part 3, I had such a visceral reaction to things, and I didn't even know why. I never felt this way about a YouTube video before, and I kind of felt stupid, but I also realize it's because I've been following Shane for such a long time and I like him so much. Yes, we need to stop stigmatizing mental health. We already agreed that that's bad, but you don't have to compromise the other parts of your story and your narrative and your art because of it. The series is called The Mind of Jake Paul, not The Mind of a Sociopath. I understand the people complaining about the mental health aspect, but I don't understand why he had to tune down so much for part 3. If it doesn't have a level of WTF-ness to it, people are not gonna watch it. So you don't have to tell people how to feel. You should just show us. I think that's why I was so upset, is because the Jeffree Star series, there was no bullshit, there was no re-editing because people felt a certain way. I don't know what it is that he re-edited about episode 3. I feel like there should have been more there that was held back. That was the feeling that I got. There was a lot of it was held back, edited out, whatever it was. It was basically just him feeling bad for doing what he loves for 20 minutes, and then the other 20 minutes showing us the family. But honestly, I had the opposite reaction of Shane when, for example, watching Jake's mom.
Imagine your mom. Imagine going on YouTube and seeing that your mom is your high school photos.
Oh man.
Right?
Whoa. When you put it like that.
I'm gonna take a wild guess here, because Shane says we're going to find out all about the ins and outs of the family later, and we're going to understand everything about the mom later. Okay, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with waiting, and I trust Shane, so whatever. But I'm gonna make a prediction here. Honestly, I think that they know everything. I don't think there's a surprise. If my mom was a vlogger, and if I had the amount of fame and influence that Jake and Logan Paul have, do you really think that I wouldn't be in control or know those things? Come on. I feel like if I had that much power and influence on YouTube, I would probably tell my mom, hey, this is a great video idea for you to do. Why don't you do it? And obviously, with family drama, you never know. It just makes sense to me, and we'll obviously find out later. As of right now, in this moment, that is my prediction. After watching parts 1 through 4. From what Shane showed, I have to put a little caveat. I don't follow them, the family at all, none of the 4 of them. Whatever Shane showed, that's what I saw from them. I don't think it was because of Shane's disclaimer that I felt bad for the mom. I think it was because of what I was seeing and the evidence that he was showing us. That is just my opinion right now. Maybe I'll change my mind, but we'll see. Which then brings me to part 4. I am so happy with part 4. So happy that Shane finally learned that he's damned if he does, he's damned if he doesn't. It's just so hard doing a series for so many people to watch. I mean, how many millions of views does he have at this point, right? Oh my god, it's insane. And it seems to be very overwhelmed by what he's posting on social media. So I don't blame him, and I just want to say that he's doing a great job overall. I know I don't want to seem like I'm shitting on it, but I just have opinions and reactions to it. It doesn't mean that I'm not liking the series and that I won't keep watching it. Of course I'm gonna keep watching it. I love Shane. I have to say, after part 4, I'm actually really excited to continue to watch it, because the only reason I didn't like, I should say, part 3 was because it was mostly, I guess, opinion based, and like I said, perhaps a little biased. But then on part 4, you get someone who has been part of their lives, which is Nick Crompton. I read a lot of the comments on the part 4, and I have to say, a lot of people are not convinced, but I think the majority are, that Nick is a credible source, and personally I thought so too. He didn't seem to be lying, he didn't seem to be covering stuff up. I didn't get that vibe from him. I thought that he was a genuine person, and I think that Shane asked him the perfect questions and asked him things that are interesting, but I think most importantly, things that are crucial to knowing the mind of Jake Paul, which is the topic of the series. So I thought part 4 was actually quite interesting. Shane really brought what he does best, which is the dramatization, but it's also the art of creating an interesting documentary that people can relate to and think about and watch and show you real people dealing with real things. I mean, this guy knew Jake and lived in the Team 10 house and had a falling out with Jake. And I think that's a really compelling story on its own, but when you put it in the documentary style and you ask him questions and you show videos and you see the more human side of his story and you get to know the perception someone that knew Jake has of Jake. And that's a really good way to prepare us for part 5, in which we'll actually get to meet Jake and his life. We can't forget that the Pauls are very controversial people on YouTube, but they're also people. So I think this episode did a good job in merging and maybe leveling the sides that we've been kind of seeing shift a lot in terms of bias and in terms of the dramatization and in terms of the sociopath theme. It definitely got me excited for the rest of the series. Coming up next, we'll see basically Shane being shady AF and going with Katie, the therapist, to Jake's house and sneaking her into Jake's house with the pretense that she's the producer. In a place where the veracity of things is asked over and over and over again, do I think that, I mean, and Shane does say that he was going to ask for Jake's permission, but do I think that Jake had no idea going into it beforehand? I don't know, because now I feel like I'm questioning everything. Not that I see Shane as someone that does stuff for views, but I really do think that if that's what's gonna happen, because again, the promos could be different than what actually happens in the episode, but if that's actually what happens in episode or part 5, I think that would be a lot more interesting than having just Shane and Andrew show up because, oh, well, Katie can't come, so we'll just go and ask Jake a couple questions and be done with it. This is becoming a great big reality show and I love it. I feel like I've already talked for a long time, so that's it for today, my dudes. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, the whole shebang. I post videos weekly. I'm also going to be making probably reviews on 5, 6, 7, 8 as they come out, because why not? I'm already starting to make 1 through 4, so why not? And also, a little caveat. Thank you so much for 100 subscribers. I know that but you know what, that's been a milestone for me. Finally can change my URL. You gotta start somewhere, so I'm excited. Thank you guys so much for subscribing to my channel. I'll see you guys later. Peace.